Okay, so this is 3.5, slides number 14. Okay, slide number 14. So in these slides, in this section, we're gonna look at some of the question that might be asked during the test or the final exam. So what are the miscellaneous situation on compound interest that can be asked to the students, right? So we're gonna look at this. Okay, this is a soft problem. So we're just gonna discuss on the soft problem for this one and see how it goes. Okay. It says here, Rokia deposit 4,000 into a saving account that pays 7.5% compounded monthly. Okay, so 7.5% compounded monthly. Right. So let me just get my highlighter. Okay, it says there 4 years later she added another 2,500 into the same account. Okay, and fine. So this is the situation where you start with an initial amount, but in the middle you add another value. Okay, you add another amount. Okay, so it can be in the form of whether you add some more money or you withdraw some money. Okay, there's two situations over here. This situation is similar to what you have looked through during the simple interest topic discussion, right? So it's the same thing, just that for simple interest, the calculation of interest is basically based on the principle that never change. But for this situation, remember that the fundamental says that when you deal with the fundamental of compound interest, it's stated that the interest calculated is basically based on the current principal or the current balance in the account. So that means whatever amount that you have in the account will be accounted for the calculation of interest. Okay, this is a bit different from simple interest, where in simple interest, the amount that will be used for the calculation of interest is only basically based on the principal itself, no changes. But right now, in compound interest, the principal is keep changing as new interest is being added to the principal. Okay, so that's why in this situation, whenever you want to deal with this kind of situation or with a compound interest, if you have an additional values or a withdrawal values from the same account, the calculation of interest will be basically based on the whatever amount that is left or that you have in that particular account. So apa yang dimaksudkan kat sini adalah bagi compound interest, bila kita nak kirakan dia punya interest akan dikira ke atas baki semasa ataupun apa saja nilai yang ada dalam akaun kita pada masa pengiraan interest. Okay, so dalam keadaan sini, kalau sekiranya kita punya prinsipal tu kita mula dengan satu nilai tapi di tengah-tengah tu kita tambahkan dengan satu nilai lagi, so dalam pengiraan interest untuk semasa kita menambah nilai tersebut, so nilai prinsipal dan nilai tersebut telah dicampurkan sekali dengan nilai interest yang telah dibayar. So maknanya whatever apa saja amount yang ada dalam akaun kita akan digunakan untuk pengiraan interest seterusnya. Okay, so that is the situation. Okay, so whenever you see the situation where you have an additional values included or values subtracted from the account, so for compound interest, the situation is that if there exists any intervention or if there exists any changes in the middle of the terms, what you need to do is to simply stop at the intervention location and then calculate whatever information or whatever value that you need at that particular space. Okay, for example, if you need if you have an additional amount after a certain period, then you have to stop at where the additional amount take place and then calculate the future value at that particular time frame. So maknanya kat sini, kalau sekiranya kita ada perubahan dari segi penambahan nilai ataupun pengurangan nilai setelah sesuatu tempoh, so apa yang perlu kita buat adalah kita perlu berhenti di tempoh di mana adanya perubahan berlaku dan kira future value dia ataupun nilai S dia di situ. Okay, sama ada dikira nilai S ataupun kirakan nilai P. So it depends on the question apa yang kita nak cari. So itu adalah perkara yang penting yang perlu you ingat. Alright. So let's see how we can solve this problem. Okay, it says here 4 years later she added another 2,500 in the same account. So what is the situation looks like? So this is the situation. Okay, it start at 0 time. And then 4 years later, so setelah 4 tahun, dia tambah satu nilai. So kat sini ada perubahan. So plus RM something, right? Okay, kat sini katakan RM 2,500. And then the money will be kept in the same account until 7 years. Okay. Okay, so until 7 years. So that means kat sini adalah 7 tahun. So in this case, you can see that in this area, so you have a duration of 4 years. And here until here, you have the duration of 3 years. Okay, so what you need to do right now, the question first asks you the total amount in her account after 4 years. So that means they ask you what is the amount here. So dia suruh cari nilai S dahulu. So dia suruh cari nilai S at the 4th year. Okay, S4 saya gunakan S4. So 4 ni indicate the year lah. Okay, so you have to use the S4. So before you do that, let me just remind you, you need to identify what are the information given. So in this case, it says here, Rokiah deposit. So kita katakan Rokiah deposit. So deposit 4,000. So this will be the principal because this is the initial amount that you invested. Okay, so that's why you have the principal to be 4,000. And then into a saving account that pays 7.5% compounded monthly. So this is a nominal rate K. How do you know that? Because you have the word 7.5% compounded. Okay, so that means K is equal to 0.075. And then you know that this is compounded monthly. So that means the frequency of this conversion will be monthly basis. That is M equal to 12. Okay, you have M equal to 12. So based on this information, you can find the value of I. Okay, is K over M. And then the value of N. So in this situation, you have two values of N because you have two options here. So one is for the initial saving only, and then after the additional values added to the account. So the first one is 4 years. So that means you have N equal to MT is 12 times 4, you get 48. And the second one, you have another 3 years, that is 36. Okay, the value of I is still the same because it doesn't change anything on the rate. Okay, but you can see that for the second part, the value of P has changes. Okay, let me see, we see how this changes. Okay, the first thing that you have to do is simply calculate the value of S over here. So what is the value of, so what is the value of S over here? Okay, you kena cari dulu S dia dekat sini berapa. Okay, berapa nilai S dekat tahun yang keempat. So to do that, you just simply using the formula S equal to P1 plus I to the power of N. So in this case, you substitute the value. So you have 5394. So that is the amount of compound interest at the end of 4 years. So that means when she start deposit 4,000 4 years ago, after 4 years she has obtained a little bit of interest on the investment, and after 4 years the value now becomes 5,394. So that means at the 4th year she already have 5,394 ringgit and 40 cent in her account. Okay, so that is for the first one, the total amount in her account after 4 years. The second part asks you to find the total amount in her account after 7 years. So that means for this part, okay, the second part here. Okay, for the second part over here. Okay, so dia nak carikan berapa pula nilai dia. And remember, for compound interest, the calculation of interest is basically based on the current principal. So the current principal is whatever value that you have in year 4 over here. Okay, over here. So what is the value? So just now we have calculated the value of S, right? So you get the value of S over there is equal to 5,394.40. So that is the value of S with respect to the initial deposit of 4,000. And then you add another 2,500. So you add another 2,500, you get 7,894.40. So that is the amount that you have in the account beginning of the second portion. Okay, beginning of the second portion. So that means for the next 3 years, the interest will be calculated based on this initial deposit. Initial principal at that particular location, right? So now you can see that the principal has changes from 4,000 to 7,894.40 after 4 years. Okay, so that's why for the second part, to calculate total amount in her account after 7 years, you use 7,804. Okay, you have 7,894.40 as your principal, not 4,000. Okay, because you are using the current balance in the account. And you can see that the time here, okay, the time frame here is only the interest, number of interest period or number of payment of interest will be just 36. That is 12 times 3 years, not 7. Because the duration is, the 4 years is already passed. So you have another 3 years. So that means you have to take the 3 here. So 3 times 12, you get 36. So calculate that one, you're going to get the value to be 9,879.42. Okay. So to find the total interest, okay, here you have the interest for each of the portion, right? If you just want to find the total interest, you can just simply take I equal to S minus P, the final S minus the initial P. That is, you get 9,879.42 minus 4,000. Okay, so minus 4,000 and then minus again with 2,500. So that is the amount that you have. Okay, so in this case, for this situation, whenever you want to calculate the interest, because you have an additional value, so the formula is a bit different. Okay, you cannot just simply say S minus P, because if you're using S minus P, then you're going to make a mistake, because you tend to take the future value, that is 9,879.42, and then you minus with the principal, that is 4,000, which is wrong, because in this situation you have the total deposit of not only just 4,000 but plus the 2,500. So in this case, the I will be the as the compound amount, the final compound amount, minus the total deposit. So what you have here is actually 9879.42 minus 4,000 plus 2,500, that is 6,500. So if you do this, you're going to get the answer to be 3,879.42 cents. Okay, so that is the amount that you're gonna get. So this is one of the situation. Okay, this situation says that you have an additional values after certain period. All right, so that is one of the situation. Okay, let's see the next one. Okay, the next one is simply the reverse of just now. Okay, just now we have the addition, so right now it is a withdrawal. Okay, it is a withdrawal. So same concept. Okay, you can just use the same concept for this one. You can use the same concept for this one. Okay, so first of all, you need to identify the information. So in this case, you start with, okay, you have RM 7,000, that is the saving. So you punya P, the first P will be 7,000. And then you have the interest compounded 5%, compounded semi-annually. And then 5 years later, so after 5 years, she withdraw 3,000. So this is the situation. So you have this area. Okay, you start with 7,000. So this is 7,000 at 0 time. And then 5 years later, okay, 5 years later, she withdraw 3,000. So here, okay, this is 5. So over here minus 3,000. Okay, minus 3,000. Just now add 3,000, right? And then it stays in the account 4 years after the withdrawal. So that means here is 9 years. So the duration here is 5 years. And then the duration here is 4 years. Okay, so 5 and 4, you get 9 years. Okay, let's see what is the situation here. So you know that the value of P, the starting P, P1, okay, your starting P is equal to 7,000. And then you have the value of K is equal to 5% or 0.05. And then your M is equal to 2. Okay, your M is equal to 2. So that is for the first one. Okay, the information that are given. Okay, why 2? Because you have semi-annually. And then you have to, you have I, because I doesn't change. So in this case, the K is 5%. So that means I will be 0.05 divided by 2. Okay, which give you 0.025. Okay, but for your N, you have two values because you have two portion over here. Okay, so N1 is the first part, that is 5 times 2, M times T. Okay, so you have 2 times 5, so you get this to be equal to 10. And then for N2, you have the second portion that is 4 years. So you have 2 times 4, which is equal to 8. Okay. So right now you can find the value of S. For the first one, they ask you to find the value of S at the end of the 5 year after the initial deposit. So in this case, you know that P1 plus I to the power of N. So this gives you 7,000. 1 plus I will be 0.025, and then N will be 10. Okay, so N will be 10. So let's calculate this one. So you have 7,000, 1 plus 0.025 to the power of 10. So I will calculate the inside the bracket first. So that is 1 plus 0.025. So this gives you 1.025, and then take to the power of 10. So take to the power of 10 will be X answer to the power of 10. Sorry, 1, 0. So cross the bracket. So equal sign, you get 1.28, and then multiply with 7,000. So multiply with 7,000. So this gives you 8960.59. So this is 8960.59. Okay. Right. So that is for the first one. And then for the second one, the principal has changed. So at the end of the 5 years, you already have 8,960.59. And then she withdraw 3,000 from the account. So right now, your principal will be 8960.59 minus 3,000, because you withdraw. Okay, so you minus. So this gives you to be 8 minus 3, you get 5, right? So you get 5960.59. So that will be your new principal after the deduction of 3,000. So in this case, you can find the value of S after 4 years, still the same. So now you have P star, okay, the new principal. Okay, ataupun you can beri dia P new lah. Okay, P new kat sini. So this will be 1 minus plus I to the power of N. So what you're going to get here will be using the new one. So 5960 times 1 plus 0.025 to the power of 8, because now the N2 is equal to 8. So calculate this one, you should get the value to be, okay, let me just bring up my calculator back. Okay, let's say you want to calculate it directly. So answer, open bracket. So open bracket. So 1 plus 0.025, close the bracket, and then take to the power of, now you have 8, right? So power of 8. Okay, so you have that. So once you calculate this one, you equal. So you get the answer to be, oops, sorry, it's not, it's not 8,000. So sorry about that. So it's supposed to be 5960. Okay, let me just continue. So 5960.59, right? Sorry about that. Okay, 5960.59, and then multiply, that is open bracket, 1 plus 0.025, and then take to the power of 8. Okay, equal. So you get this to be 7262.40. 7262.40. Okay, so that is the value at the end of the 9 years. So if you want to find the interest, you can just find the interest here. Okay, you can find I1 here, and you can also find I2 here, and then you can just add them together, or you can just calculate it straightforward. So in this case, you're going to have the end value, that is I will be equal to S minus total deposit, right? Ataupun total amount that you have. So in this case, you have the last value for S is 7262.40 minus, okay, the total deposit will be 7,000 minus 3,000. That is only 4,000. So you get this to be equal to 7260. So you get 3262.40. Okay. If you calculate separately also, you will get the same answer. Let me just do that. Okay, very quick. So I1 will be, so 8960.59 minus 7,000, you get 1960.59. And then for this one, 7262.4, 7262.4 minus the 5960.59. So you get 1301.81. So when you plus these two together, so plus 1960.59, you get the same answer, 3262.4. So same thing. Okay, if you calculate separately the interest and then add them together, will give you the total interest. Similarly, you can also use I equal to the final amount in the account minus the total deposit. Okay, so in this case, the total deposit has been reduced because you have the withdrawal. Okay, dekat sini dia punya total deposit ni berkurang lah daripada yang awal lah, yang asal. Yang asal 7,000, dia jadi hanya tinggal 4,000 sebab kita keluarkan wang 3,000. Berbanding yang sebelum ni, okay, yang ni dia punya total deposit bertambah sebab kita start dengan 4,000 and then kita tambah lagi dengan 2,500. So dia punya total deposit akan jadi 6,500. Okay, so ni okay, 6,500. Nampak macam dapat juga So 6,500. Bukan 8 tau. Saya tulis saja macam 8. Okay, so that is for the second. Okay, this is for the second one. So the first case is you add some value after certain period. The second situation, when you withdraw money from the account. The third situation is where you have the change in interest rate. Okay, we have the change in interest rate. Untuk yang dua-dua yang asal tadi, kita tidak ada perubahan dari segi interest rate. Tapi untuk yang ni, dia ada perubahan daripada interest rate. So what does it mean? Okay, it says here on 1st January 2014, Hidayu bought shares worth 25,000. The company offers 6.5% interest compounded semi-annually for the first 2 years, only for the first 2 years. But then it decreased to 5.5% compounded quarterly for the rest of the investment period. Okay, for the rest of the investment period. So the question asks you find the accumulated amount on 1st January 2016. So they start dengan 1st January 2014 and then dia nakkan 1st January 2016. So the duration here is 2 years. Okay. So January sampai akhir 1st January sampai akhir 2014 you have 1 year, and then 2015 until end of 2015 you have another 1 year. So that means the duration for the first part here from 1st January 2014 until 1st January 2016 will be 2 years. So that means the first 2 years the interest is 6.5% compounded semi-annually, and then for the next period, so the future value after 10 years of the investment, so maknanya dia tinggal lagi 8 tahun lah. So the situation like this, right? Okay, so this is 2, 0, 2, and then this is 8. So total semua you akan dapat duration is 10 years, right? But for 0 to 2 years, so from here to here, the interest is 6.5%, M equal to 2. And for this part, the interest is 5.5%, and M is equal to 4 because it is compounded quarterly. Okay. And the investment is starting with 25,000. So here you start with 25,000. There's no additional value or no withdrawal in the middle. Okay. So this gives you some idea that there might be a fourth situation. Okay. Tadi first situation adalah additional values. Second situation, withdrawal of values. Third situation where there is a change in interest rate. And the fourth situation might be you have both changes in terms of the value, whether it is withdrawal or additional, plus changes in the interest rate. So to make it more complex, right? So that means you have 4 situations that you're gonna see in the type of question that will be asked in compound interest. Okay, so what is the difference here? So I think you can try this one on your own. I just give you some idea how to build up everything. So based on this information, you know that P is equal to 25,000, the initial values, and then you have K1 is equal to 5%. 6.5%. Okay, with M1 equal to 2 and T1 is equal to 2 years. And then you have K2 is 5.5%. Okay, with M2 is equal to 4, which is quarterly, and T2 is equal to 8 years, because you want the total duration to be 10 years, right? So based on this information, you know that you have I1 dan M1. Here also you have I2 and N2. So I1 will be 0.065 divided by 2, and N1 will be M times T, right? So that means 2 times 2, which is equal to 4. Meanwhile, for I2, you have 0.055 divided by 4, and for N2, you have 4 times 8. So this gives you 32. Okay. So based on this information, all of this information, what you can do is to fulfill whatever inside here, inside here, inside here, inside here, and here. Okay, so you can try this one later because they give you the answer down here. So you can check whether you get the correct answer or not. Okay, so that is basically the situation. So you can try this on your own. If you have any problem, just let me know. Okay, remember the P over here. Okay, the value P over here, so I highlighted here. Okay, the value P over here must be using new S. So whatever value that you have over here, so this value will be in here. Okay. So this is equal to, let me just say this one is S1, right? So P here will be equal to S1. Okay. So whatever value that you have in S1, then that will be the new P for the second portion. That is for the 8 years. All right. So that's it for the discussion on miscellaneous situation related to compound interest.